Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Fraser, and welcome to the High Performance Show, where we explore the latest cutting-edge psychological research around how we achieve our best. And the stuff we're talking about comes from the research I do with Deakin University, as well as stuff that we get from all over the world. Now, today's episode is going to focus on, well, ironically, it's all about how do we develop a focused mind. So our overall research showed that there are 6 key factors that drive high performance. To have regular recovery, mental toughness, a mastery mindset, connected relationships, focused mind, and self-awareness. And obviously, we're going to talk about this one today. Now, Google, a couple of years ago, did this experiment or did this research where they looked at, could they work out how much data had humans created over civilization? And they came up with this enormous number. However, they repeated the experiment, but what they discovered is today we create that much data every 7 days. We create a species full of data within 7 days. And the challenge with this is that we've just got so much information coming at us. We are being overwhelmed with how much information. I mean, our brain today has to cope with more information than our ancestors had in a generation. And the fallout of this is that it's affecting our ability to focus. Now, every year, 6.6 million people are seriously injured through texting accidents. So they injure themselves while they're walking along texting. And BRiN have actually created tech-safe streets where they are now padding the poles on the street so that people don't hurt themselves as much. This is the reality of our world. And one of the biggest fallouts is that it's affecting our attention spans. Now, let me ask you a question. What is the average attention span of an adult? Or do I have to repeat that question? What do you think it is? Most people say 15, 20 minutes. But in fact, the average attention span of an adult today is around 7 seconds. 7 seconds. And the worst news is that a goldfish has one of about 8 seconds. We are losing our capacity to manage our attention. So the most concerning thing about this is the way it affects our brain. So if you look at our brain, what we know is the areas up the front, the frontal cortex, is all about our high-level functioning. So all our best functions are run from there. So things like our attention, our ability to make judgments, emotional responses. Like the frontal lobes do these things, reasoning, emotional control, impulse control. To perform at our best, we need this part of our brain to be working really, really well. But the problem is that all this distraction and all this overload of information is actually reducing our frontal lobe's ability to do its work. And here are the fallouts of a lack of attention. Anxiety goes up, we get exhausted, impaired cognition, our productivity drops, the quality of our relationships, our self-awareness, even our reduced enjoyment of experiences. What they're showing is that an experiment was done in the US and they sent people on holidays and half of the group were not allowed to take their technology. So they said, go on the holiday, but you can't take technology. They took it away from them. The other half got their technology and they said, share your stuff on social media, and which most people do. When they came back from the holiday, they interviewed both groups. And what they showed is the group that didn't have technology remembered more of the holiday, experienced it better, and were happier during the holiday. The people that were sharing it through their technology were so focused on what other people thought of their holiday rather than actually enjoying the moment. So there's all these fallouts of a lack of attention. So why is this happening? What's specifically going on that's eroding our attention and our ability to focus? Well, there are 3 main things. Number 1 is just due to our hyperkinetic environment. We have just got so much stuff coming our way. And what psychologists in the US are talking about is a new condition. And this new condition is called CPA. And what this stands for is continual partial attention. And what this shows is that rarely are people present and focused on one thing. Usually their attention is spread across a number of things. So they're doing more than one thing at the one time and their attention's spread across it. So the first reason why our attention is dropping so poorly is just how we run our brain during the day, and we run it spread. The second reason why we are losing our ability to focus is the number of distractions and interruptions. So we have so much stuff that interrupts us today. Like, look at this thing. Like, this is the primary one. You know, actually today, this is our primary relationship. The average smartphone user looks at their smartphone every 4 minutes, whether it makes noise or not, just to check that it's okay. You know, and most people admit that this is the last thing they look at and the first thing when they go to bed and the first thing they touch in the morning. It's almost like we say goodnight to our phones. Like, good night, phone. You know, we did good work today. I'll miss you. This is what's going on. But email, people, Messenger, we have all these distractions coming at us. And what we know is the average employee is interrupted every 3 minutes. So every 3 minutes, we have something that comes and breaks our attention. 28% of the average person's day is spent recovering from distractions. A third of our day is spent going, what was I just doing before I got interrupted? That's a third of our day. Now, and the third thing that has killed our ability to focus is that for too long, we've prided ourselves on something called multitasking. Now, new brain research, well, actually, it's not that new. It's been around for about 10 years now, shows that multitasking does not exist. You can't do it. Your brain cannot do two things at once. Now, it can, as long as one of them doesn't require attention. So can you walk down the street and talk on your phone at the same time? Yeah, because what are you not thinking about? You're not thinking about walking. Because you're not walking along going left, right, sorry, that's wrong, right, left. We're not thinking about walking, but the moment you get lost, what do you say to the person on the phone? You go, hang on, I'll call you back, because you have to focus. You can only multitask if one of the things doesn't require attention. But as soon as you need cognition, you cannot do two things at once. And when you're multitasking, what you're actually doing is something called switch tasking. You're switching your attention from that thing to the next, backwards and forwards very, very quickly. Now, whenever we hear multitasking, a thought always comes to our head, which is there a gender bias on multitasking? Because society says that women are far better at juggling tasks than men. However, is there any science to back this up? And there actually is. What we know is women can juggle more tasks than a man can. And every woman watching this is going, you're not telling me anything, Einstein. I know, because the average male has the attention span of a border collie. However, let's get back to, let's look at the science of this, because Sir Ken Robinson in his TED Talk discussed the fact that the brain is two halves whacked together. So you get a right side, you get a left side. Where they're joined is an area called the corpus callosum. Now in women, this part of their brain is thicker, so it allows them to jump between tasks far quicker than a male brain ever can. However, ladies, don't get too comfortable, because a study was done at King's College in London where they compared people who'd been multitasking all day, and they compared them to people who were stoned. Now, what they showed is the stoned people outperformed the multitaskers on everything they were given. So what's the moral of the story on that? It's not get stoned. It's that we shouldn't multitask. And I'm going to show you why this is so bad for our brain. So just to show you, if you're not convinced how poor multitasking is for your brain, we're going to do a little experiment. Now, Sarah from our production crew is going to come up. So
hello.
The lovely Sarah, this is Sarah. I'll
Hi.
get you to stand here, Sarah. Because in a moment, you're going to do an activity. Now, the activity I want you to do is you're going to write this sentence: multitasking disengages my brain. However, you're going to write it a very special way.
Okay.
Because you're going to multitask it and the alphabet at the same time. So you're going to do the first letter of the sentence. Then you're going to do the first letter of the alphabet. Then you're going to go back to the sentence, back to the alphabet, back to the sentence, back to the alphabet. You're going to keep going until the entire sentence is finished and the alphabet starts again towards the end. Right?
Okay.
Understand what you got to do? And you might need a couple of lines to fit it across the page.
Okay.
But you're going to multitask it. So do you understand? Because I do this activity with a lot of people, and I ask them to do this, and then they write multitasking disengages my brain, then the alphabet. You're going to go one, one,
Yeah,
one.
one letter at a time.
Cool.
Jump back
All
and
right,
forth.
so grab a texter.
Cool.
Your time starts now. Wait on, I'm going to time you to see how long this takes.
Okay.
All right, so your time starts now. So no pressure. So as you can see, even with a task as simple as the alphabet, switching between those things makes it quite difficult. Not that I want to interrupt you, Sarah. And if you're watching this, also try the activity at the same time, because you'll be surprised at how challenging this thing is. You're on the home stretch now, Sarah. And keep going. Just start the alphabet again.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Done. All right, that was a minute 40. A minute 40 it took you to do that activity. All right, what you're going to do now is repeat it.
Okay.
But this time, you're just going to write the top line all in one go and then the alphabet all in one go. So minute 40. So your time starts now. Okay, 34 seconds. All right.
Wow.
That took you 3 times less, more than 3 times less than the previous activity. All right, talk us through the first one. How hard was that?
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.